All right, John here with Studio Oracles. I have a message for a charity. And if you know what charity means, it means love. So this could have more than one meaning for just the name charity, for whoever this is for. What I saw was a dark-haired woman. Your hair comes down past your shoulders, and you had a very beautiful violin in your hands. You knew how to play it masterfully, but you were getting frustrated because of the circles that you're involved in with symphonies and orchestras and the whole classical route, because this pressure was put on you in the Asian world, in your Asian family, where you felt that you had to fit a certain mold. And you're getting really frustrated because you've mastered this area and you're getting frustrated and bored. And I just feel to encourage you to share with you the message from the divine that you are made for so much more. And so you don't need anybody else's permission because you already have it. Love has already given you charity, the charity and the love to go for it. You just needed to hear it. And from the other side, I see a grandfather and a grandmother and an aunt that are cheering you on. They are really cheering you on from the other side of the veil. And they're saying, yes, go for your creativity. Go for what you see in your heart. Go for the flow. And you're like, well, how do I do that? Because it's going to dishonor the family. But they're telling you, they're saying it's not going to dishonor. It will disrupt the patterns that need to be disrupted. And so you are a pattern disruptor. And this is a very good thing because something needs to be broken up in that traditional sense. Not all traditions are bad, but in this sense, this needs to be broken up so that it paves the way for the younger sisters and the younger generations coming forth to say, hey, I am proud to be my heritage. I'm proud to know where I came from, but I'm not going to let tradition keep me in one box. I'm not going to allow it to keep me in such a constriction to where I see something way greater unfolding in my life. And as you yield to it, and as you yield to the joy that's bubbling up in you as you're hearing this message, reading this message, however form that you see it or read it, that you're going to cause something to break open in the spirit side of things energetically to where it will actually find its way. The creativity inside of you will find its way to the open doors. So you've already had glimpses of this throughout the last few years. I've seen where there's glimpses and snapshots of people coming to you and saying, hey, why don't you join us in this? Why don't you come over here and play in this group? Or why don't you come and share with this group of young people? And you're like, no, I'm sorry, I'm busy. I have to stay in this, doing what I'm doing in this flow here, in this arena. And it's almost like this arena that you've been involved in with the symphonics and the orchestras, even though they're beautiful and you realize that, it's almost as if it's made you a completely different person. And you don't have to worry about not discovering that part of you or causing it to come to the forefront, because it's always there. It hasn't left your life. It's just been buried by some conditioning and programming from generations before you. But just know that grandfather, grandmother, and auntie, they're cheering you on from the other side. And that's already been broken because they've seen what you really are and what you're becoming and what you're expanding into. As you yield to it, they've already seen it. They've already seen that what your design was meant to be. They've already seen your life plan, and they're on the other side just going, okay, you can do this. So when you lean into this creative flow that you see on the inside of you, there's new songs coming out, there's new instruments, I just saw a flash of you playing a guitar like wildfire, like nobody's business, like you've never seen before, and it's just making you come alive. I saw that. I saw the violin, and I saw you even playing with some very, very large drums. Japanese style, all kinds of style, and flute instruments. Just, you're going to have your hands in several things because you're experimenting what you're seeing and feeling on the inside of your life. And that's a very beautiful thing. What you're seeing and what you're sensing and what you're feeling, just know that it is good, it is right, it is from heaven, it is divine, it is everything good. It's charity, it's love. So for you, love, for you, charity, and everyone else that this relates to, and you feeling constricted in what you're doing, especially in the music world, this is going to pop something open, not only for you, but for many more people that can see that it can be done, moving past the traditions that have held people captive. There is something about the way that you're going to move with that instrument as well that's very instrumental in sacred geometry. And what it's going to do is actually open people's eyes to sacred geometry while you're moving and playing. Now, this is interesting. I haven't seen this before, but sacred geometry is really coming onto the scene right now to tell us into some secrets and mysteries about how the universe was created and how we are all linked with that geometric unveiling to not only the natural realm, but the spiritual side. So mysteries are coming forth. And when you play that music, people are actually going to see different geometric shapes that are going to shape not only their life, but are going to shape some of these answers that they're looking for in the spheres of influence that they're engaged in. So this is all going to make sense as you move. Whatever you feel in that movement, go with it in your creative flow while you're playing, because it's going to unlock and ignite this in other people. Very, very interesting word there. Also, you've had, I just saw on your heart, you've had this heartbreak, or what felt like heartbreak, but although you can never break the heart, because the heart is the spirit, the heart-centeredness side can really never be broken. It's egoic structure and the soul part of us that gets shattered because it disrupts patterns that are expectations that we thought that we were going to engage in that were good for us, or that we had this high expectation and high hope that something was going to turn out a certain way, and it didn't. I see that healing when you're moving more into this creativeness and you're breaking out of these patterns and these boxes. I see this just really healing. It's like an oil or a balm or a salve. You know what that means. And it's moving across your heart as these musical notes flow through, as the rhythms and the basis for who you are and what you're releasing, it starts to heal. And you're going to actually come in contact and connection with someone that will not break your heart, that's waiting for you on the other side of this. In fact, they've seen it. They've seen you, Charity, already. They know in part of what is to come for their lives, and I just see two little ones running around you guys in the future, and they are so exuberant and joyful over this whole idea of music and musicality and creativity, and they're going to take it to the next level. There's also another Charity, another love, another person that's just really hitting home with, while you're listening to this word for this other Charity, it's really hitting home for you because you've lost someone in your life, but you never really lose them. They just transition to the other side, and they are actually cheering you on. There's a John, and then there's a Jacob. There's a John, Jacob, and then there's a Joe. There's 3 J's in your life that are actually cheering you on. A couple of them are from the other side, and there's one on this side, and they're really for you energetically and spiritually, and they're saying, move forward. Yes, this is for you. This is for you. This is for you. And they're saying, man, we've been waiting for something like this so that you can confirm it, because you've been a bit of a skeptic, and that skepticism is now fading and pulling itself away. And something about the name Gucci, either Gucci bags or Gucci line, or somewhere maybe you're working at Gucci, and that's really going to nail it home for you too. It's just like, no way, how would you ever know that? Well, when you see it in the spirit on the other side, then it's true on this side. And so there's something that's going to shift with Gucci bags, Gucci lines, or there's a desire there for a greater substance of Gucci that's going to be met. So there's some transitioning coming for you, Charity, really quickly as you engage and drop in and surrender into this heart-centered space and flow of who you feel yourself to be. And then you're going to be known in that arena in your own authentic expressions, because you haven't been allowed to be authentic or genuine to the real, true, and genuine love or charity. The love, the genuine love, the authenticity has not been seen like you've seen it on the inside of your life to be. So just know that the future ahead, as you yield, is going to get better and better. All of the woundedness in the past and the trauma and the challenges and the trials of what you thought was going to be your life forever, those will soon be a faded memory, and then they will not be existent anymore in your carrying of your soul realm. They will not be held captive inside of you. They're being purged and changed and dissolved as you move forward. There's also an interesting geographical positioning for you. There's a geographical move and a switch and a change that will help facilitate this broadening and expanding of who you are. There's a shift and a molding and a turning in this. It's not going to be the conventional way where I just move from like LA to New York or New York to LA kind of thing. It's not a straight line there. So just allow the twists and turns to happen. And that's part of your expansion to break you out of the patterns as well, because you've been linear in your thinking and your thought process has been very analytical, logical, left brain. Now you're moving into more of the right brain heavily. And so this is where synchronicities start working for you. This is creativity coming and getting you and saying, hey, I'm going to take you on the journey that you've always longed for and that you were made for and that you signed up for. So when you move forward, just know that it's not a straight line there in the geographical move, but you will be moving, and that shift will be, you'll be invited into one step and then the next, and then unfolding of the next and the next. And then soon you'll find yourself positioned in a place that you just dreamed of. And you're like, whoa, I didn't realize I was even thinking this way. I didn't realize that this is what I needed in my life. I didn't know this. Well, you didn't know because your programming was burying the conscious level of creativity. And the programming is now being dismantled and dissolved in light of this creative flow, this colors. There's lots of colors surrounding you, lots of colors. It has to do with musicality, but it's also colors in the natural surrounding your life. You're going to go from more of a grayish black orchestraic tone. You're going to move into the full blast of colors swirling and swishing around your life. And your home is going to be decorated in such a way that it's going to unveil and confirm this. I saw blues and turquoises and beachy kind of stuff that are lining the walls. And it's just beautiful and bright and airy, and music notes and people, just photographs and paintings of people in their bliss musically, and I even saw a flash of movie theatrical kind of things surrounding your life and swirling around your homestead. It's a joyful place to be, whereas before it was like very mechanical and dark and shadowy, kind of a cold feel. Now it is bright, fun, cheery, childlike, playful, and beautiful. That's what you're entering into. It's a wonderful life. It's like the beginning of your life in that movie wasn't so much fun. Now towards the end, it's angelic, and George is in the movie It's a Wonderful Life is actually living a wonderful life. This is your love story. This is your music story. This is your musicality. And when you move into that next phase, this is more of like a second half, but then there's going to be a third and a fourth part. So second part, third part, fourth part, harmony is coming to your life in so many ways, in the natural and on the spiritual side. And it's not a this time around, moving into this opening, this grand opening of who you are in the spirit, this is not a learned knowledge. This is an infused, eye-opening revelation of who you really are. And when that happens, you're going to learn instruments in just quantum moments, quantum timing, because you've opened up another side and unlimited capability that was yours to agree to in the beginning before you ever came into your human skin, but it's also now being realized because you've opened up this place of surrender and receiving that you've never known before on this side of the veil. Receiving is a big deal for you because that wasn't part of your culture. Your culture was to go out and grind it out through hard work and make it happen. And it was more about giving out and spending your strength. Now it's about receiving freely so that you can give out freely without condition or strings attached. So just know that, Charity, you're coming into a full bloom and a full blossom, and you're going to know what the next step is because it's going to come to you on the inside, and you're going to realize, whoa, okay, I'm yielding to the creativity. Now the unfolding and the next step is happening for me. It's opening up. You don't have to worry about your family. I see where worry is being dissolved inside of you. You've carried this weight of a burden of worry and fear and dread and almost a foreboding. That's all being dissipated and dismantled and healed in your life. Your egoic side is being healed. The little girl that had been traumatized at different points of not adding up. You couldn't do the right thing most of the time. You just felt like a failure because your hands would get slapped and you'd get whacked on the hand when you couldn't play the right note in your piano and violin, and I just saw where that's all being healed, and you're only going to experience encouragement because there's friends being added to your life that will just encourage you and move towards that which they see around your life as well, and be a support. Your great support is coming your way. Great support is coming your way. Just remember, the way in is through play. Play saves your day. All right. Hope that helped you, Charity. I would love to hear from you. If you'd like to email studiooraclesinfo@gmail.com and just say, hey, John, man, that was for me. And then share with me whatever's on your heart, if you would. All right. We'll see you on the next one. Until then, keep your hands up and let the current take you.